What's up, tech fans? Welcome back to Tech of Tomorrow, where today we're taking a look at a pretty mean card from the people over at Gigabyte. Now, this is their GTX 950 Gaming Extreme Edition, overclocked right out of the box. 1203 for the base, 1405 for the boost, so you know this thing is going to move. With that said, though, let's hop in, let's take a look at the cards, let's take a look at our test system, the scores, and then at the end of the day, let's see if this card is actually worth your money. As we take a look at the card, we can see on top there are two fans. Now, this is the new WindForce 2 edition. You guys are all familiar with the WindForce edition. They've been their top-of-the-line cards from Gigabyte for the last few years. So some basic specs are this. It's a 2 GB card, 7,000 megahertz memory clock, 28 nanometer process, 128-bit memory bus, and obviously GDDR5. Supports DirectX 12, OpenGL 4.5, and obviously its PCB form is ATX. The card features a maximum digital resolution of 4096 by 2160, which is 4K, and the maximum analog resolution is 2048 by 1536. You can hook up to 4 monitors via the rear I/O. The rear I/O features 3 display ports, an HDMI, and a single DVI connector. And the card size is then like this. Height is 42 millimeters, length is 240 millimeters, and the width is 132 millimeters. We will also have this translated into inches for those of us here in America. Now, there are 5 extreme things about this card that make it the Extreme Gaming Edition. The first is the extreme cooling with the new WindForce 2X fans. Now, these things are 3D active fans, which means they're made to cool and made to keep all that air pressure going down against the card. The next is the extreme outlook. Now, everybody has a custom build with a custom theme, and being able to change the lighting on the card is pretty cool. So now, the little WindForce logo here can change to whatever color your system is. So that's pretty cool stuff. Another thing is this backplate. Really killer extreme backplate on this card. Another is the way they do their extreme gauntlet choosing, which means that basically only the absolute best parts are put into this card before it gets manufactured. And the last thing is this card's made with Gigabyte's totally true stuff, 2 times more copper, just like all of their other extreme stuff. So basically this card is well made all around on this card. Now, as far as power requirements go, there's just a single 8-pin power connector on this card, and all you need is a 350 watt power supply to get it going. There's also a single SLI finger right here on the little top here. So there's a single SLI finger. So you people want to use SLI setups, you'll be able to do that. And if you're using multi-monitors, you'll be able to do that as well because the rear I/O is pretty fleshed out. You get 3 display ports, an HDMI, and a DVI-D connector. So the card's really rocking and ready to go. So that's pretty much everything about this card. It's pretty cool looking. It's overclocked out of the box. Like I said, 1203 for the base, 1405, that's the boost. So this thing's ready to rock and roll. Now, we've actually seen a couple cards in here before that are the same speed. The Zotac was just clocked as much. So that pretty much seems to be like the threshold of where these cards are being released out of the box on the very high-end spectrum of things. So with that said, let's real quick check out our test system, and then let's rock out to the benchmark song and see how this card does against the competition. Let's rock. Alright folks, so there you guys have it. The Gigabyte GTX Gaming Extreme Edition card. Now this card's running pretty cool. 2968, so that means under a full load at 68 Celsius. That's actually pretty cool. Leaves you plenty of room for overclocking, and you guys all know that on NVIDIA cards, all your overclocking stuff comes from how cool your card is running it. Boost is completely based on how cool the card is running. Cooler the card, the better the boost and the better your gaming. I guess, although these cards are pretty much clocked out of the box. Now, you guys can see this card does really good against the competition. It's a $160 card. It's a few dollars more than the entry-level card. If you guys are looking for something to complain about, I guess you guys could snub your ear and go, I don't want to pay for the extra cooling. But I don't know. I think it's worth it. For what it is, you get a pair of these cards. They're going to be really fast. This card does run very, very cool. It's quiet. They have all their own type of overclocking software that you guys can use. I'm not going to tell you what to use because I know that everybody has their favorite. I could recommend one. You guys are going to go, yeah, right, I just use this over here. But overall, this card is very solid. It's pretty much the entry-level gaming card from the people over at NVIDIA. It's geared to compare against, I think the 260 is kind of where it's like competing at. If you're an AMD fan, you're probably going to go in the AMD camp regardless of what I say about this card. For NVIDIA fans, you guys have probably seen a lot of these cards already, so you know what it is. Like usual, all the information will be down there below that like button. You guys know what to do. I know you guys say that, it's not a total review unless you tell the good and the bad. So the whole thing is, though, what if you get a product and there really isn't a whole lot of bad to talk about? Because, with this card, if I was sitting there trying to scratch my head and go, okay, or scratch my ass and go, okay, what's something bad to say? The only thing I could really complain about is, okay, maybe $160 is a little bit steep for an entry-level card. Maybe it should be $140. But beyond that, there's no coil whine, none of that stuff going on. The card runs cool. You guys can see it games great. If you're into 1080p gaming, it's going to do just fine. If you're using 4K and stuff, I don't know. I would suggest using a different card for that kind of stuff. Pushing 4K with just a single card by itself, I think it's pushing it. Anyways, I'm Elric. Thanks for watching the channel. Peace out. See you guys back here later.